All right, man, peace. So we've known for the past 4 or 5 years now that Mr. Shannon Sharpe is bar none the #1 LeBron James fangirl in the mainstream liberal sports media. He seems to have made concerted attempts to tie his sports repertoire or his sports resume to Mr. LeBron James. I guess both words would apply because basically when all else fails, Shannon Sharpe just starts to talk about LeBron James. He pretty much is Shannon's entire sports repertoire. And when it comes to his resume, that's what he's most known for. He's most known for being, as a football player, big play Shay. And as an analyst, he's honestly known for being LeBron James' biggest fanboy in the media, someone who is going to wave the pom-poms for him no matter what. Major aspect of the cult of personality programming that is being utilized for LeBron James is played out by Mr. Shannon Sharpe. I'm on record as saying and as stating that, in my view, Mr. Shannon Sharpe and LeBron James have an occultic rapport or relationship as master and apprentice, most likely in the craft to some degree. And that's one of the ways in which they're linked, per se. We know that he loves to call LeBron James the quote-unquote GOAT, and that he's made an appearance on this show, Undisputed, getting down on one knee, bowing the knee to the horn god, a.k.a. Baal, or the GOAT, whatever term you want to call that horn entity, Khnum, Benebdejet, what have you, Amun-Ra. But as we're going to see over the course of this segment, this is one of the offshoots of being a fanboy / fagboy. You just start to think and say the most ridiculous things because you're inconsolable just at the thought and or the mention of the focus of your ardor going down, not necessarily in flames, but just being hampered with an injury that he's going to be able to come back from. Listen to some of the dumb shit that Shannon Sharpe states in this segment. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft. Here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, bitch. Better watch your mouth. And Skip Bayless, watch your mouth too. Our family has been inconsolable the last 2 days. Okay? We thought we were going to catch Jordan. Something happened. This nigga Solomon Hill, his father better be King David because he's going to need a whole army to keep me away from his ass when I catch him.
Morning, it ain't too good, but it's
Sorry about that.
You know what amazed me about this weekend?
What, Skip? Go ahead, say something smart so I can smack the shit out you. You see I got my Hall of Fame blazer on, right?
We had more Deshaun Watson news. We had Deshaun Jackson news. We had bombshell after NFL free agency bombshell. We had upset after upset in March Madness. And in the end, the biggest story by far was LeBron James versus the Atlanta Hawks that started at 12:30 p.m. out here in L.A. on a Saturday afternoon. And that became the biggest story. Your man is incredible.
Of course he is. His name is LeBron Ramon James Sharpe Jr. That's his name. I love him, you love him. Keep some respect on his name, though, Skip Bayless. Because right now he's at the house with his foot in the cast, elevated, watching our show. So make sure you say some nice shit, or I will lay hands on you this morning.
You surprised by that? No.
Dominates the news.
Exactly.
Not surprised. Well, Shannon not feeling so hot because unfortunately, LeBron James not feeling so hot. And we got to talk about it. LeBron will reportedly miss 3 to 4 weeks after suffering a high ankle sprain during the Lakers' 99-94 loss against the Hawks on Saturday.
Now, as we can see here, Mr. Solomon Hill clearly is going for the loose ball. This is just something that happens in the NBA. No one made a huge stink of it when LeBron James tried to knock Joel Embiid out of the air with clear intent to harm and hurt him. We know that it was clearly intended to hurt Joel Embiid because when he landed on his tailbone, LeBron James showed no contrition whatsoever when Joel was laid out on the ground. So turnabout is fair play. Things happen. This was a real basketball play, and Solomon Hill was just going for the basketball.
Like Skip mentioned, and after the game, Montrezl Harrell said that Atlanta defender Solomon Hill wasn't doing a real basketball play when LeBron got hurt, causing Hill to defend himself.
Now, how could that not be a real basketball play when Solomon Hill's going for the loose ball? Is Montrezl Harrell trying to imply that Solomon Hill came into the game waiting for his moment to try to take out LeBron James' knee? Is that what he's saying?
Twitter saying this: I would never disrespect the game and take a player out purposely. He knows that. That's all that matters to me. Praying for a speedy recovery.
Look at the hashtags. Rest in peace to the mentions, though. More DMs than Saweetie. In other words, there's a bunch of fanboys / fag boys in his mentions or probably in his DMs on Instagram trying to talk tough and say a bunch of stupid shit that they're not going to do.
Shannon, I start with you here. Was this play clean or dirty in your eyes?
Now, Jenny Tab, what type of stupid-ass question is that? That play was dirtier than a Cambodian prostitute's coochie in the middle of the Vietnam War. As soon as I saw it, I got up and threw my popcorn down. I said, I can't believe I'm going down to Staples Center and whoop some ass.
It wasn't a dirty play. It was an unnecessary play.
How so, sir? How could a hustle play be an unnecessary play?
It only matters to Solomon Hill. LeBron James is still going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So basically, they play 4 games every 7 days. If he's out 3 weeks, Skip, that's 12 games. He's out a month, that's 16 games. There's what, 30 games left in the season? So there's a potential that LeBron James can miss half of the remaining games. And considering they're only, 2.5, 3 games in front of the 6th or 7th spot, there's a chance with AD being out, by the time these guys get back, they can be not only out of the playoff, they can be out of the play-in situation. Because you saw what they looked like last night, and we've seen what they look like without LeBron on the court. Skip,
and Anthony Davis.
Thank you, Skip Bayless. And Anthony Davis, because they have not looked like a great team without Anthony Davis, because Anthony has been their best player for the last year and change. Anthony Davis has been the best player on the Lakers and the most impactful player on the Lakers for the last year and change. And that's a fact.
If LeBron's there and Schroeder, you can get by, because LeBron is the guy LeBron is the chef.
Right, but if LeBron James is clearly the best player in the NBA and the greatest player of all time, why is it that with his presence on the team, you say that they can just get by? What does that mean? If Kevin Durant came back to play with the Nets, even if James Harden or Kyrie Irving were out, you would say, I would expect the New York Nets or the Brooklyn Nets to flourish because they have Kevin Durant on the team. Why would you assume that the Lakers are not going to flourish if they have LeBron and just get by? Unless you're acknowledging that maybe he's not quite as impactful as the media tries to act like he is.
Everything gonna make sure everything's okay. In a situation like this, I don't get why Solomon Hill skipped. Solomon Hill is not on the second of a 10-day contract, needing to impress someone. Solomon Hill's contract was guaranteed in January. Solomon Hill has been around long enough. If this is Game 7 of the NBA Finals or the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals, Skip, I get it. But 1 minute into the second quarter, in Game 42, you're diving on the floor outside the 3-point line?
Wow. So Shannon Sharpe is alleging that Solomon Hill should not be playing hard because he has a guaranteed contract. He's playing on a team that currently has, I believe, a 7-game win streak going into their last game against the Lakers. Of course, they won that game. It was either 7 or 8-game win streak. I believe their overall record is about 2 games above 500. They're fighting for a playoff spot. But because Shannon Sharpe is upset that his boyfriend got his ankle twisted up and almost broken, he's going to try to imply that Solomon Hill was playing too hard. Now, where did they do that at?
And you talk about intent. Skip, and my good friend Dr. Dyson said the mosquito.
You're already starting off asinine as soon as you say your good friend Dr. Dyson. That's another super liberal, idiotic Negro who just sits back talking about a whole bunch of shit that's never going to come to fruition. And he's a Jesuit. That's why they got him working over there in Georgetown.
Only intent is to draw blood. But in the process of doing that, it might give you Zika. It might give you West Nile. It might give you malaria. That's not his intent. His intent is not to give you those diseases. Its only intent is to get blood. So I don't want to hear Solomon Hill, my intent was to get the ball. The intent only matters to you. LeBron James has it high.
So clean or dirty?
Thank you, sir. Get to the point. Was it a clean play or was it a dirty play? Skip Bayless is basically trying to pull Shannon Sharpe out of his bullshit rhetoric. It's very obvious that Shannon Sharpe wants to say that it was a dirty play because he's emotional about his boyfriend going down.
You're saying it's clean, but it's dirty. You're going both sides.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yes, you are. You starting off talking honestly like a bitch. Like, why would you say that Solomon Hill should not be playing hard because he has a guaranteed contract? He went for a loose ball. It's something that happens all the time in the NBA where guys run into somebody else's knee. Either you're going to say that Solomon Hill tried to hurt the man or you're going to say that it was a basketball play.
Clean or dirty?
Skip, it was not a dirty play. It was not a dirty play. I'm saying it was unnecessary.
What's the difference?
Thank you, sir.
You mean what's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference? What's the difference? If you're going to say that it's unnecessary, you're saying that it was dirty. You're saying that he went extra and he had the intent to hurt LeBron James. Because what other intent could there be based on the after effect? Like, what's the point of you saying that it was unnecessary? How could you be making an unnecessary play if you're trying to win the game?
Play. You're saying it's dirty.
Skip.
If it's unnecessary, it's dirty. Like, you should have pulled up and not gone for that basketball. That's what you just told me.
Thank you, sir. That's absolutely what he said. Now, of course, Shannon is probably going to try to clean this shit up now because there's nothing but bullshit coming out of his mouth.
You just told me that.
Skip.
You can't have it both ways.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot. Don't tell me that Solomon Hill made an unnecessary play and then try to imply that you're not calling him dirty. That's exactly what you're trying to call him.
Ball or don't.
The mens rea of it in a situation like this, the mindset, Skip, that's not a dirty play. He's going for the ball. But my point is, in that situation, 1 minute into the second quarter, you're diving on the floor. How many times have we seen Solomon Hill dive on the floor for a ball?
What are you talking about? So is somebody supposed to come up with a highlight reel of Solomon Hill diving for the ball? Like, bro, what is your take here? Like, what are you really trying to say? I get it that you're upset that LeBron James got his ankle twisted, as we can see right here, but what are you trying to say? That he should not be playing hard? Solomon Hill is not a star player in the NBA. He gets his minutes by hustling.
How many times do you watch Solomon Hill?
Thank you.
Watch Atlanta, because I like Trae Young. So he's not in the game a whole lot. He's just running around shooting threes. But Skip, don't try to do that. Don't try to say, well, you can. It's a dirty play. No, it was a play. I thought it was a basketball play. Now he went about it half-hearted. He just didn't dive on the floor. Skip, you could.
First, Shannon Sharp says that it was an unnecessary play. Why is he doing all that 1 minute into the second quarter? Now you're saying that he went about it half-hearted. So he made a half-hearted hustle play, which sounds oxymoronic.
He's going like, I really shouldn't be doing this, and then that's what happened.
Oh, you read all that in the 0.2 seconds that it took him to dive on the floor. I really shouldn't be doing that. So had he went all out, he would have did what? Did a Superman dive like Dennis Rodman used to do for loose balls? Shannon, just drop your whole take, bro. Your whole take is trash.
But my thing is that I don't believe it was dirty because I don't believe his intent.
No, you're not going to go on television and say that you believe that it was dirty because you can't prove it. But you agree with Montrezl Harrell.
Into the situation like, I'm going into the game. I'm going to hurt LeBron. Intent only matters to the person that's committing the act. The person that receives the act is just as injured. It's the difference between murder and manslaughter. Intent matters to the defender. I mean, the defender.
Nigga, you trying too hard, man. Just pass it back to Skip. Because you just sound like a fucking idiot. It's a basketball play. It happens. Guys get hurt and injured in professional sports all the time.
Him is just as dead. LeBron James is just as injured, even though Solomon Hill did not intend for the act to happen. Boom.
Still not sure I'm getting you on that, but okay. Let me answer the question because I will tell you flat out, not a dirty play.
Thank you, sir.
End of story. Well, I'm answering the question. It's my turn now.
Let him know, Skip. Put this dude in his place as a LeBron James fanboy.
I cannot imagine why Montrezl Harrell would sit up there after the game and say that was a dirty play.
You know why, Skip? Because Montrezl Harrell now believes that they're not going to win a championship. And he spent this whole season believing that because the Clippers cut him, he was going to get his revenge by winning the championship this year. And now he feels like their championship aspirations have gone down the drain. That's why he's emoting like that. And that's why Shannon Sharp is upset like a broad, too. Look at his face. He got a bitch face on.
That's out of bounds for Montrezl Harrell. Solomon Hill is in his 8th NBA season. He has been on 4 teams. This is his 14th. But he is playing 20 minutes a game for the Atlanta Hawks,
right,
averaging 4 points and 2 rebounds a game because he fights on defense. That's his calling card. And if we could see this play one more time, you hit the nail on the head at the end of your soliloquy when you said he starts it by causing the potential turnover. He's the one who knocks the ball out of LeBron's hands. And then you're telling me just because it's early second quarter, you're not supposed to dive for the basket?
Thank you, sir. That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard anyone say about a sports play. why are you playing hard and it's not late in the game? Like, what type of stupid shit is that?
And the truth is, he did not dive for the basketball. The truth is, he went half-hearted. You use the guy. He pulled his punch. He pulls his punch.
No, he went all out for the ball. It's just he didn't dive all the way because he saw LeBron James there. To me, what transpired here actually proves that there was no intent to hurt LeBron James. Because had he really been trying to hurt him, he would have dove full into LeBron James's knee.
Whoops, I'm sorry, LeBron. I don't want to crash against your planted foot. And
Absolutely.
because if you crash, if you go full speed, if you go all the way over, you know what's going to happen? ACL might happen. We can forget about high ankle. We can go to ACL.
Or dislocated ankle, a la Dak Prescott.
Was as far from a dirty play as you can get. I don't know about what intent or his intent was to get the damn basketball. That
Ding.
he's trying to do because he's trying to win the damn basketball game.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And if the NBA, what is the?
Yeah, well, I don't understand. What is Shannon Sharp's point? You're only supposed to play to win in the fourth quarter? Like, what is he talking about?
Always get criticized for they don't play any defense until the last 2 minutes. Baloney, they don't. They play their tails off the whole way through. And Solomon Hill's job is to go on the floor for 20 minutes a night and play his tail off. Way to go, Solomon Hill. And then I heard Schroeder after the game. I watched his whole Zoom interview, and he was defending Solomon Hill, saying we're in the same draft class. I know him. I respect him. There's no way that was a dirty play. And then I don't even know where the quote came from, but later I see on Twitter some quote from him saying, yeah, it was a dirty play. What?
Because all these guys are just bitches. They get on the internet and they say something totally opposite of how they really feel. Or they get into an interview and they say something opposite of what they're going to say on social media. These guys, they just clowns and characters.
It was not a look at him pull his punch. I got to see it one more time. He starts to go down and he's reaching for the basketball, and then he says, whoops, I can't go there. I got to pull back. He pulls his punch. He pulled away. He did not go ahead and fall full weight across the ball. He says, no, I got to stop. I got to pull up.
I'm not even going to say that he made a cognizant effort to quote-unquote stop. He just took the best angle that he could to try to reach in and steal the basketball. It's a basketball play that happened, but this nonsense about why is he playing that hard in the second quarter, that's about the dumbest thing that I've ever heard anybody say about professional sports. If you're trying to win the game, you're playing hard from quarter one all the way through quarter four.
Don't give me dirty play. Skip. I'm sorry. It just happened.
Skip, said that. I didn't say it was dirty. I said it was unnecessary.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what the difference is. You're trying to
Neither do I. He's trying to parse his words because he's frustrated that LeBron James is hurt. This unnecessary nonsense. If LeBron James had dove for a basketball in the first quarter, you'd have said, look how hard LeBron is playing.
Both sides of the fence.
Really? Hold on, Skip. Really? Skip, you don't know the difference between intent and unnecessary?
I don't. He's just playing basketball. His intent is, I know what his intent is. I got to get the basketball because I dislodged it and I need the steal.
So, hold on. So for the past 20 years, you said only the fourth quarter matters. Now 1 minute into the second quarter matters.
I didn't say that. Every second matters.
When LeBron, hold on, no, it doesn't. When LeBron James...
Skip, you have lit this black Mount Vesuvius and I'm about to erupt on your ass today. You're not going to tell me that that man didn't try to hurt LeBron? Yeah, you know what, matter of fact, it wasn't just unnecessary. It was dirty. That nigga was dirty. And if I catch his ass in the streets of Atlanta, he's mine.
Off in the first, second, or third, that doesn't matter. But now
do I
it
expect
matters.
LeBron James to play hard for 4 quarters? Yes, I do. A defensive specialist, do I expect him to go hard early in the second? You better believe I do, because he doesn't get that many chances. So I am completely defending Solomon Hill. And now
as you should. Go ahead, Skip.
Go to part B of this. So what happens after part A? LeBron writhes on the floor, and as Kuzma said after the game, I've never seen such anguish. Yeah. I've never heard him scream and yell before, right? And I hadn't either. I'd never seen him writhe like this on the floor as long as he writhes on the...
Yeah, when I saw that, I knew that it was something serious. That was not no regular twisted ankle where he goes and reties his sneakers. That was some real shit there. So when he stayed in the game, I said, let me see. Well, when he got on defense, he started doing that fake defense that he was playing 2 years ago, where he just started pointing at different guys. I said, no, they're going to have to take his ass back out.
And yet, knowing him the way that I know him, having followed him as closely as I've followed him, I've seen him get a little melodramatic in these circumstances and pop right up and be Iron Man. He is simply the most durable athlete superstar athlete I have ever remotely covered. There's never been anything about like LeBron James when it comes to durability. So I was not at all surprised to see that he finally got up. For a second, he couldn't put any weight on the right foot. And then, if we can see...
You could tell that foot almost got dislocated.
...happen, he began to walk on the high ankle sprain. And then this happened. We didn't get to see him walk. But then he plays. And right away, what did he do? It didn't surprise me a bit. He gets an open three, and he nails it from the left corner. And then he tried to trot up floor, and he was trotting okay up floor. It didn't look that bad. He wasn't that hobbled. And he got to midcourt, and he stopped and said, you know what? This is ridiculous. I can't go. And then we saw him.
Well, he shot that three to keep his streak going. We know that LeBron James is very stat conscious. I'm surprised that Skip missed that, or maybe he'll cover it in another segment.
And he knocks the chair over. That wasn't because he was mad at Solomon Hill. He was mad at it. He was mad at the seat. He might lose the MVP.
Right.
He's going to lose some games as he pursues Kareem's all-time record, and he's in year 18. So the clock is ticking to some degree, right?
Yeah.
So he.
Yeah, Skip, baby, we talked about last night. You know, me, LeBron, Savannah, and Bear. I said, baby, you okay? He said, no, nigga, I'm not. I'm about to lose about 2,000 points right now off this year. I said, nigga, get over it.
Mad at it. He's mad that he got hurt.
Oh, Skip, I mean, you're mad at the situation because like, damn, I'm playing so good. I found a rhythm. I'm 26-8-8. The team has found a rhythm without eight.
LeBron James fanboys are so funny, man. I always call them niggas, they're like they all graduated from MIT. They always rattling off numbers and stats and shit. LeBron averaging 26-8-8, two steals, a block and a half, shooting 51% from the field, 58% true shooting percent. Like, they know all these numbers. They just throw numbers at people.
We played really well. Skip, let me ask you a question, Skip. The play that Patrick Beverly did on Russell Westbrook when Russell was going to call a 20-second timeout and Pat Bev undercovered, was that dirty?
Yeah. It was.
Why was it dirty?
Because it's breaking an unwritten rule.
Oh, that's an unwritten rule. That's unwritten. That's unwritten.
Okay, it was LeBron.
That was an unwritten rule. The dude called timeout and everybody saw it. I mean, nice try, but once again, you can defend what happened all you want. At the end of the day, it occurred, Shannon Sharp. You have to move past it. Shannon frustrated because he thought this season was going to end in the championship, and it still might. You never know what's going to happen down the course of this season. Long way to go. Any player can get hurt. LeBron might come back. It might end up being a blessing in disguise. Force this dude to get some rest. Maybe he and AD come back fully healthy and make their run for another championship, which would be LeBron James' 5th. But it does look like they're not going to win a championship, and that's why Shannon Sharp is so upset. He's trying to hide it behind a lot of fake wordplay, talking about unnecessary, but it wasn't dirty. Like, give me a fucking break. If you're calling it unnecessary, then you're calling it dirty. Just man up and call it what it is. Just the fact that he tried to compare it to the Patrick Beverly play, which was dirty, shows that he thinks that the Solomon Hill play was dirty. But the Solomon Hill play was done during a live ball. Russell Westbrook was bringing the ball up and was calling timeout when this fool Patrick Beverly dives into his leg. That was dirty.
You call timeout?
No, so hold on. What unwritten rules? Is it a rule or isn't it? You talking about both sides?
You know what's the rule?
Get him, Skip. tear into that ass, Skip Bayless.
The rule is,
what is it?
You're all.
What is it, Skip? Go ahead and flex. You look like you're getting froggy. Why don't you jump your little white ass over here so I can really pound you out? No homo.
You're going on one side of the fence.
Unless it's LeBron.
Here's the point. It's my turn. It's my turn.
Go ahead.
The rule is you play basketball as hard as you can play it every second
Patrick
of every
Beverly was
game.
doing that.
That's the rule.
Patrick Beverly was doing that.
He was not. Russ has got the ball under his arm trying to say, I want to
play hard every second. You just said you play hard every second. Now, which is it? You talking out both sides of your mouth.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, that's just silly and pathetic. Russell Westbrook was calling timeout. Everybody knew that. And Patrick Beverly was not going to steal the basketball.
Exactly. You know it was unnecessary. It doesn't have to be intent to be unnecessary.
What are you talking about? It's 1,000% necessary. It's as necessary as any play Solomon Hill ever made in his life. He's trying to get the basketball. And when he got in precarious situation, dangerous situation, he pulls his punch like, ooh, I can't go there. I'm still trying to reach and get it, but I'm not going to fall full weight across LeBron's planted right leg. Period.
Hold on. So let me go. Okay, he was like, I'm gonna dive for the floor, but midstream, mid-air, I can't do this, so I'm half-hearted.
Correct.
So
you used the word half-hearted before I used it.
I'm saying that's my point exactly.
Thank you. My point exactly.
Hold on. Either you're playing hard or you're not. Either you're going to go all the way or you're going to play half-hearted. What you going to do?
Well, he was cognizant of the fact that LeBron James' planted leg was there. And if he's not going to go through the leg to get to the ball, because all that's going to happen is he's going to end up breaking LeBron's leg, and he's still not going to get the ball. So he tried to angle his body to reach for the basketball. It's not that difficult to figure out. And there is no congruency or alignment to the play that Shannon Sharpe tried to compare to the Solomon Hill play, that being the Patrick Beverley play. Once again, that occurred during a dead ball. Everybody knew that Russell Westbrook was calling timeout at that situation or in that situation, and Patrick Beverley didn't care. He just wanted to make an ass of himself, as usual. So those two plays cannot be compared.
Get to a point where you say, I can't put
You can't do that. No, that's not what you said. You said Solomon Hill's job is to be on the floor for 20 minutes and get on the floor. Now you said he can't do that.
Clean or dirty, not dirty.
Skip,
simple as that.
Skip, nobody said it was dirty.
Right, but you're implying it.
You said that it was unnecessary. Well, it's the same. It's the same thing. You're saying if it's unnecessary, then it was a dirty play. Right?
So let me ask you a question.
Nobody says it's unnecessary.
Skip, let me ask you a question. When Tom Brady got his knee blown out, was that a dirty play?
Well, they made a rule against
No, that's not what the rule. I didn't ask you. That wasn't a rule at the time. It wasn't a clean or dirty play.
It's falling into a man's planted left foot. Don't laugh. I'm trying to answer the question.
He filed.
You're the one who looks.
Shannon, I'm so upset right now. I know y'all weigh me by 60 pounds and 5 inches in height, but I want to knock you out.
I don't. What are you talking about?
I got you trapped, and all you could do is say, you look foolish. You look foolish.
You do look foolish, Shannon Sharpe. You like a damn fool talking about how the play was unnecessary and the guy shouldn't have been playing hard in the second quarter of the game. If you're trying to win the game, you playing every quarter. That team is fighting for the playoffs.
It was unnecessary, so it's...
That's all you can do. I got you trapped. I just asked you a simple question. Was the play on Tom Brady dirty? And you can't answer it.
What does it have to do with this play right here?
Because it's the exact same thing. It was not...
Wait a minute. Are you sure that you're trapping Skip Bayless, or you're trapping yourself? You keep giving examples of other plays that you classify as dirty, and yet you're calling this play not dirty, Shannon Sharpe. So subconsciously, you're revealing what you really feel.
It was not. It was not a dirty play.
Did Brady drop the football?
It was not unnecessary.
Was Tom Brady looking at that man? No, he was looking downfield to throw the football, and I believe the ball was gone.
Skip. LeBron was not looking at him. LeBron was trying to get the ball.
He could feel him. He knew he was coming.
But Tom Brady could feel him.
No, he couldn't. He couldn't even see him. He's looking downfield.
Okay, Skip.
Okay, did they not make a rule against that? You think they're going to make a rule against this play?
No, Skip.
You think they will? No, they won't, because it happens every game to everybody.
Skip.
Literally. Almost every game there's a play similar to this. It's just very unfortunate that LeBron happened to have his foot planted there. And he should feel very thankful that Solomon Hill tried to get an angle on the ball as opposed to diving straight into his leg.
LeBron has been incredibly blessed in his 18 years that hasn't happened to him before.
So LeBron James is the only athlete that's been blessed not to have major injuries.
Well, he's been the most blessed of any athlete I've ever covered.
More blessed than Tom? Tom missed 1 year.
Okay, well,
right, but what is that? Is Shannon Sharpe taking that as an insult that Skip Bayless called LeBron James blessed? I mean, damn. If he's not married to LeBron, he needs to buy a house right next to him, to at least maybe serve as some voluntary security for LeBron James. I've never seen nothing like this in my life.
20 years.
Okay, Tom doesn't play basketball. You see, basketball is very different from football.
So which is more physical, basketball or football?
Well, obviously, football can be, except for what do you always tell me about the quarterback? it's so easy for him to play until he's 44 because nobody ever hits
It
it.
is, but I'm just saying, and there have been exceptions, Skip. We've had linemen, offensive linemen. Jackie Slater played 20 years, I think.
Whenever Shannon Sharp cannot argue his point, he brings up Tom Brady.
One of the Matthews brothers, both of them played well into their teens. Bruce played 20, and I think Clay played like 17, 18. So it happens. Skip, all I'm saying is, look, I'm not saying it's... See, Skip, when you say dirty intent, I've been with guys where they go into a game with the intent is to injure someone.
Sure.
Yeah, like Bill Romanowski.
I understand that, but I understand...
Does Solomon Hill have any track record? No,
Skip,
not at all.
Skip, because someone does not intentionally do it, that doesn't mean the act could have been avoided.
Right, but what was the point of you bringing that up, though? What's the point of you bringing up that it was unnecessary for him to dive for a loose ball? Players die for loose balls every game in the NBA. Certain players are being evaluated based on their hustle plays and based on their getting to loose balls. Every player cannot be evaluated based on points per game, assists per game, and rebounds per game like your boo thing. There are certain players who get paid because of how many loose balls they die for per game.
I believe this play could have been avoided. Solomon Hill jumping on the floor with 1 minute left into the second quarter, Skip, that's not going to win or lose the game.
Says who? It was a 5-point game at that point. What if he dives and saves the basketball and inbounds it to Trae Young, and Trae Young hits a 3 and they end up winning the game by 2? Those type of plays, they count just as much in the second quarter as they do in the fourth. Your attempt to rationalize, this blurry or obtuse attempt at a point about how Solomon Hill was playing too hard, it just makes no sense whatsoever. You just sound like someone beating around the bush.
Like win or lose his job.
Thank you, sir.
Got a guaranteed contract.
Why are you counting his pennies for? For 2 years, $10 million?
To this year,
Yes.
and what?
So you think they're going to pick his contract up next year?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Okay.
Exactly. There's a reason why he's been on team playing on these 1 year contracts.
So in other words, you're saying that he shouldn't play hard because he might not get picked up. Like, what are you saying? You're really making the case for him to play hard so that when teams watch him on film, they say, okay, we can bring this guy in because he'll bring some ruggedness to the bench. Just be a man and say what you want to say, Shannon Sharp. You're trying to act like you're keeping it real and you're keeping it real phony.
And he's going to dive for the loose ball shortly into the second quarter.
Oh,
It's what he does. It's what he is supposed to do.
Agreed.
I'm saying is, Skip, in a situation like that, I've seen Schroeder dive for the ball. I just saw him do it the other night against Atlanta. But he doesn't dive in the direction. It's clear path. It's just the ball, and he's diving to prevent the guy from getting it. He's not diving into a crowd because that's what happens. Somebody might be taking a step, your momentum goes, and then boom, that's a knee, that's an ankle, and that's what happened. I'm not saying, I don't believe Solomon intended to do that, but I just believe it was a necessary act, and whether he intended or not, LeBron James is just as injured, whether he meant to do it or not.
All right,
That's
now
it.
to the report this morning from ESPN, 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Hard for me to believe it's going to be that long. It's just hard because I saw him trot on that ankle. I was thinking after Saturday's game on Saturday night, I thought maybe he'll miss a game. Obviously, they were going to play back.
Come on now, Skip. I just spent the last 15 minutes agreeing with your dumb ass. Now you're going to say you thought he was going to miss a game after that shit. Anyone who saw that knew that he was going to be out at least 3 weeks.
Right.
But maybe he'd miss a game this week, the
I'm
next game.
surprised he traveled.
Hmm?
I'm
He
surprised
did?
he traveled. Yeah,
He went?
I'm surprised he traveled.
He did. He sat on the bench in Phoenix. So to me, 3 to 4 weeks seems way out there. Way too much.
No, not for me, Skip. I mean, I saw Michael. You remember Michael Thomas had that injury for the Saints. You saw Christian McCaffrey have that injury for the Carolina Panthers. And Christian McCaffrey missed the rest of the season. Michael Thomas tried to come back. Michael Thomas missed, what, like 8 weeks?
Saquon Barkley had that injury with the Giants, that high ankle sprain. He missed, I think he pretty much missed the whole damn season.
You're asking a guy to try to come back. I was thinking on the conservative side, 2 to 3 weeks. I'm talking about really, really conservative. I'm thinking more like 4 to 6 weeks
Most likely.
with that injury.
I saw him run. It's obviously easier to run straight ahead on a bad ankle than it is to cut right to left.
Well, Skip Bayless, keep in mind that, the blood is pumping. He's sweating. His body's already warm. He also has adrenaline pumping through his body. Once that shit wore off, I promise you, that ankle stiffened up where he probably could barely move laterally.
Skip, I think the thing is, in that moment, you still have the adrenaline going.
Ding.
That's the way I used to sprain my ankle. But back then, Skip, they didn't call it high ankle sprain. You just, no matter you rolled it in or out, they called it an ankle sprain. It wasn't until like the late 90s they started to give it a name, high ankle sprain. So come to find out, there a lot of years, Skip, I should have missed 2 to 3 weeks instead of just shooting the ankle up and going back out there playing the next week.
Well, so now nobody has a low ankle sprain. You ever?
Yeah, Skip, when I saw that shit on the footage, on the camera, I looked at LeBron, I said, you out 3 weeks off that shit? That ain't nothing but an ankle stub. You just stub your ankle. That's all. You stub your toe. I said, you stub your ankle, nigga. Tough it out.
I haven't either. Because even when guys roll their ankle over, Skip, they get, it's a high ankle sprain. I'm like, well, damn, everything can't be a high ankle sprain. There got to be some delineation between the two. But
you like I use that word, Skip Bayless, delineation? I'm keeping up with you.
Painful. And what I ended up having to do, Skip, I ended up having the nerve in my left ankle deadened because it was so sensitive that almost somebody could kick me and it would flare up and it just like I'd be in excruciating pain. So I said, I'm done with this.
And that's the best thing I ever did, Skip. I deadened the nerve in my left ankle. That's why when I kick your ass every morning, I have no feeling in my left foot.
I didn't go to the extreme like Roddy Light, have my finger, my pinky tip cut off. But I just deaden the pain. I'll be done with it. So obviously he's not going to go through that extreme, Skip. But you think about it, Skip. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, he misses 2 weeks. They play 4 games every 7 days. That's 8 games. That's 8. Who you think they're beating? Now they said AD was 3 weeks away last week, so which makes them 2 weeks away. Skip, who they beating?
And that's speculative because, once again, that AD injury, to me, that's just a monster waiting to happen. In my opinion, that's just something that they're putting off. I don't see him avoiding any type of serious Achilles injury. I mean, we'll see what happens. But eventually that thing is not going to hold on for much longer.
I mean, you just hope they're in position to be in the play-in situation somewhere between 7 and 10. Let's give me no disrespect, but come on now. Let's be all the way. We're going to keep it. We going to church. We're going to have confession. We're going to tell the truth. Who they beating?
Well, you saw them. Wait, they still got Kyrie Schroeder, right?
Yes.
Huh?
He tries hard. Trez plays hard. I like THT, but Skip.
Caruso.
I watch. This was an opportunity last night. I wanted to see. I played really close attention. I wanted to see Kuzma, and I wanted to see no Bron, no AD. This was your chance to say, see what I can do.
Here's what I'll say about Kuzma. You know, everybody likes to jump on him whenever LeBron is out and expect him to get out there and score 25 to 30 points. This was his first time dealing with this, at least this season. Let me see how he looks in these subsequent games, you know, especially next game and the games after that, as he becomes more comfortable with the role of being the quote-unquote alpha scorer on the team.
The ball, and what did he do? Skip, you got to be careful. When you watch a guy that plays 3-4 years of college, and see, there's a reason why people don't view him. Brandon Ingram came out after 1 year. Jason Tatum 1 year. Donovan Mitchell after 2 years. Zion.
Give me 2 years.
He might be maxed out.
Okay.
Oh, he is maxed out. I said that when I first saw him as a rookie. People do this all the time. They see these guys coming to the NBA and average 16 points a game as a rookie, and they say, oh, he has the potential to get to 27, 28 points. No. There's a huge difference between a 16-point per game guy and a 28-point per game guy. I'm not even quite sure if Jason Tatum's ever going to be a person who tops out at 30 points per game. Possibly. If he gets a green enough light and they get rid of Brown. But I don't ever see him being a proficient enough scorer to justify the belief that he would average 30 points per game on a winning team. Jason Tatum I'm talking about. So Kyle Kuzma, if he does get to a point where he's averaging 21, 22 a game, it's probably going to be for a bad team. It's never going to be for the Lakers, at least not as a full-time top scorer.
Maybe. So the point is that this could be for LeBron a blessing in disguise because they've been trying to slow him down, and he won't slow down. He wants to win MVP, and he is chasing Kareem's all-time points record, so he needs to play.
But
He's also trying to make an outside case at Defensive Player of the Year.
Maybe in the biggest picture, if we're talking about back-to-back championships, maybe this is blessing in disguise.
If you look at the last 4 games, Skip, his minutes have been substantially down. But here's the thing, the problem that you're going to run into. There's a great chance they're going to be in the 7 to 10 or out of the playoffs. So how many minutes is he going to have to play, he and AD, to get them back in contention? So you're talking about slow it down. So now it's almost like you, Skip, you're not going to make the NCAA, you're not going to make March Madness unless you win your tournament. So that means you got to win 5 games in 5 days. Okay. So in other words, that means they are going to have to play extra just to get themselves in position.
Okay.
Well, I promise you that when or if LeBron James and AD do come back, they're going to welcome the challenge of having to assume playoff mode or playoff mentality heading into the playoffs. That's how LeBron is going to try to spin it. Similar to a couple of years ago when he said playoff mode activated.
Which means this is going to be sooner than later. To me, if it's beyond 2 weeks, I will be shocked.
I wouldn't.
No?
I wouldn't.
Okay, so you're saying they might just miss the playoffs then if it's 4 to 6 like your original thought was?
If it's bad enough, if LeBron has to be out long enough, don't be surprised to see the Lakers just shut the season down. Because I think that they never felt great karmically about this season anyway. In most of LeBron's championship seasons, he pretty much wins a championship in some haphazard way. Many times, to be quite frank with you, he doesn't deserve to get the championship that he got. And that's why it's so difficult for him to go back-to-back. Now, he does have one back-to-back where he was able to win his first championship in a strike-shortened season. And then he was able to win it the second year when Ray Allen saved his ass. But it's very difficult for him to consistently win championships because for the most part, the ones that he does win happen in a very fluky way. So it's not like he's winning because he or his team is especially dominant over the competition.
They Skip, if he miss, let's just say, for example, I'm going to say he misses a month. That's 16 games of the 30 plus left to play. That's a little over half. They're going to have to, he is going to have to come back like the LeBron left. And AD is going to have to pick right up. And that's what they're going to have to do. Skip, they're going to have to do like the Suns. They might have to go, the Suns went 8-0 in the bubble. They might have to go 13-3, 14-2 just to get to the play-in.
Now, I don't think that it's going to get that bad. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. They are going to have to go at least 15 games without LeBron and AD. So it will be interesting to see if they can right the ship without those players.
Skip, yeah, come on.
Hey, just remember, Phoenix is really good, especially at home. So don't discount how good Phoenix was last night.
I'm not.
Right, but here's the thing. To Shannon Sharp's point, without LeBron and AD, what teams in the NBA are the Lakers particularly better than where they can go into a game and say they're definitely going to win this game? Maybe Detroit? But who else? If the Lakers played the Orlando Magic with Aaron Gordon and Vucevic, would you say, oh, they're definitely going to win this game? I wouldn't. If the Lakers were to play the Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox, would you say they're definitely going to win this game? I wouldn't. You never know. Fox and Buddy Hield might get hot from 3. They might get ran out the gym. I mean, the only 2 teams, maybe the Pistons and the Rockets, who I would say, okay, the Lakers should win that game tonight, even without LeBron and AD.
Phoenix isn't that good, but I just watched Phoenix lose to Minnesota at home.
Okay, but last night Booker and Ayton just dominated.
Yeah, you think?
Well, I'm just saying they're really good. Look at their overall record and tell me they're not really good.
I'm not saying they're not really good.
And to Skip's point, Phoenix just beat LA with LeBron a couple of weeks ago, despite the referees trying to help them by kicking Devin Booker out the damn game.
Got chances if AD and LeBron are there. And it doesn't seem like either going to be there for
okay, so if LeBron is gone, as you think, for a month, I say 2 weeks. Is he out of the MVP?
Yes, absolutely.
Qualified?
Yeah.
He's done?
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp says he's done.
Yeah, you can't miss that many games. Skip, I mean, I was thinking somebody, I'd be willing to give somebody 8 to 10 games, miss 8 to 10 in a shortened season. Skip, you can't miss 16, 12, 16 games, 17 games and be in that. And be
well, you had already disqualified Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
So now LeBron is disqualified.
Well, good for you, Shannon Sharp, for being consistent there.
And now it's like, by default, who's left? Dame had a bad game last night. Right. Are we back to Giannis again?
Yeah. Giannis is good. James Harden?
Maybe.
Jokic is playing out of his mind, but they can't win games. They can't string games together.
Just for the record, James Harden has had back-to-back not-so-great games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was good last night against the Wizards. He just had a terrible game against Orlando.
This might be an unprecedented season, Skip.
It might be, by default.
Well, we don't know. And LeBron has shown he can recover quickly in the past, guys. So the Lakers just might have to prepare to be...
Well, yeah, Jenny, here's the thing. Me and Savannah, we make LeBron chamomile tea. We hope that's going to help heal his ankles.
their star for a little bit of time, and we'll keep you updated on the latest, of course. But we do...
But anyway, that's basically it on that, brothers. Hopefully Shannon Sharpe has a couple of boxes of Kleenex. He can seek some level of consolation in the fact that the Lakers did win the championship in the NBA's Black Lesbians Matter Bubble Tournament. It is what it is. Peace.